Watch where you're standing, lady! Hot coffee splashed across her coat. Steam rose from the dark stain spreading over the fabric. The woman blinked once, steadying her breath. The officer smirked, his badge glinting in the morning sun. Guess that'll teach you to block the sidewalk. Pedestrians slowed, pretending not to notice. The courthouse loomed just a few steps away, its marble columns glowing under the gray Chicago sky. The woman, mid-40s, graceful, composed, glanced down at the spill, then back up at the officer. "Badge number 2219, she said evenly. "I'll remember that." His partner laughed. "Oh, she's one of those. You're really gonna file a complaint over a little coffee?" She met his gaze calmly. "Not a complaint," she replied. "A record." Then she walked away, her shoes clicking against the wet pavement, her dignity untouched, even as brown stains dripped from her sleeve. Inside the courthouse, the officer leaned against his patrol car, still grinning. "You believe that? Acting like she owns the place?" His partner snorted. "Probably a defendant running late to her hearing. The way she talked, though, record, like she's somebody." He shrugged and took another sip of coffee. They didn't notice the window above them, where a clerk had just watched the whole scene and quietly hit record on her phone. Hours later, Officer Daniels and his partner Briggs stood outside the precinct locker room. Daniels was still laughing. "I mean, she didn't even yell. That's the part that kills me. She just took it." Briggs smirked. "People like her know nothing they say matters." But then the precinct door opened. A young detective stepped out, a file in hand. His eyes narrowed. "You two were on courthouse duty this morning?" "Yeah," Daniels said. "Why?" The detective held up a photo. It was blurry but clear enough. The officer, coffee cup in hand, mid-pour. "This is you?" Daniels's grin faltered. "Where'd you get that?" "Security footage," the detective replied. "Internal Affairs is asking questions. The woman you harassed, she filed a report directly through the Federal Judiciary Office." Briggs frowned. "Federal? Since when does the judiciary care about random civilians?" The detective didn't answer. He just closed the file. Since today, the next morning, both officers were summoned to the disciplinary review board. They entered the conference room looking tired but still smug. The chief sat at the head of the table, expression unreadable. "Gentlemen," he began, "before we start, I need you to watch this." He pressed play on a monitor. Footage rolled. The spill, the laughter, the woman walking away in silence. No audio, just their arrogance in high definition. When the clip ended, the room was quiet. Daniels cleared his throat. "Look, it was an accident." The chief's hand came up. "That woman you accidentally humiliated?" He slid a document across the table. "Her name is Judge Maya Roberts." Briggs blinked. "Judge? As in newly appointed to the state Supreme Court," the chief continued. "And she has already forwarded a misconduct complaint to the Federal Oversight Committee." Daniels paled. "You're joking." The chief leaned back. "You poured coffee on a judge outside her own courthouse. I don't think she's the one joking." Outside the station, reporters were already gathering. Someone had leaked the footage. Headlines were everywhere. "Cops humiliate black woman outside courthouse. Victim identified as newly appointed judge." The clip had gone viral overnight. News anchors debated professionalism, race, and respect. One commentator said, "What's striking is how calm she remained. That's the kind of composure only power gives." That evening, Judge Maya Roberts sat in her quiet apartment, her coat hanging neatly by the door. The brown stain was still visible. She hadn't sent it for cleaning yet. She wanted the reminder. Her phone buzzed. It was a call from Chief Justice Harlan. "Maya," his voice said, low and serious. "Are you sure you want to pursue this personally? It's going to make waves." "I'm not pursuing vengeance," she replied. "I'm pursuing accountability." There was silence, then a sigh. "Then I'll support you. The hearing's set for Friday. You'll preside." Maya froze. "Preside?" "Yes," Harlan said. "Internal misconduct cases are being reassigned under your oversight. That includes this one." When the call ended, she looked down at her hands. Her fingers trembled, not with anger, but with the gravity of what lay ahead. "So justice really does circle back," she whispered. "Friday morning." The courthouse buzzed with tension. News crews lined the steps. The same officers from that cold morning stood inside, now in plain clothes, waiting for their disciplinary hearing. Daniels whispered to Briggs, "You think she'll be here?" "Doubt it," Briggs muttered. "She probably sent some other judges." The bailiff entered. "All rise." The officers turned toward the door, then froze. Walking toward the bench was the same woman they'd mocked. Her robe swept the floor, black and crisp. Her expression was unreadable. Judge Maya Roberts took her seat. Her gavel struck once, echoing through the chamber. "You may be seated." Daniel's knees nearly buckled. Briggs looked down at the floor. Judge Roberts opened the folder before her. "Officers Daniels and Briggs, accused of misconduct, harassment, and assault outside this courthouse 3 days ago." She paused, eyes lifting. "You were right about one thing, Officer Daniels. No one cares about nobodies, but this court cares about justice." The silence was electric. Her tone remained calm, but every word landed like thunder. The defense attorney stammered, "Your Honor, with all due respect, you can't oversee a case involving yourself." Roberts looked at him steadily. "Correct. I will recuse myself following the preliminary statement, but I will also ensure the world sees that accountability has no rank." The bailiff nodded, understanding. Cameras flashed. She closed the file. "The court will recess while a new judge is appointed for this case." Then she stood, voice calm as ever. "Gentlemen, I suggest you prepare. This hearing is only the beginning." The courtroom buzzed with whispers as she stepped down from the bench. Outside, reporters swarmed. Questions flew like arrows. "Judge Roberts, are you pressing charges? Do you plan to testify? What message do you have for the department?" She paused on the courthouse steps, the same spot where it all began. The morning sun caught the faint brown mark still clinging to her sleeve. "Justice," she said quietly, "always finds its way back to the steps where it was denied." Then she turned and walked inside, leaving the crowd stunned. Inside a dim office across town, the same young detective who'd found the footage watched her statement on TV. He frowned when his phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. Message: "If she keeps digging, she'll find more than she expects." The detective's jaw tightened. He looked again at the screen, at Judge Roberts, calm and fearless, and muttered, "What the hell does that mean?" The phone buzzed again. This time, the message had a photo of a file labeled Operation Courtline, Confidential, for internal use only. And just like that, Judge Roberts' search for justice was about to uncover something far deeper than a cup of spilled coffee. "Quick question for you. What do you think the file Operation Courtline could be hiding? Let me know in the comment section." "You sure you want to see this, Judge?" Detective Cole's voice was low as he placed a thick envelope on the mahogany table. The label read, Operation Courtline, Confidential. Judge Maya Roberts leaned back slightly in her chair, her eyes calm but sharp. The courthouse lights flickered overhead. "Show me," she said. Cole hesitated. "It's not just about those 2 officers anymore. What's inside this file? It involves the entire department." He slid the contents across the table, photographs, transcripts, and a list of names. At the top, a memo marked Internal Surveillance and Behavioral Assessment Program. Maya frowned. "Behavioral assessment?" Cole nodded. "An unofficial operation. They've been monitoring judges, attorneys, even jury members, supposedly for security risk analysis. But in reality," he paused, "they've been profiling black officials, especially women." Maya flipped through the pages, each one heavier than the last. There were court transcripts marked with racial annotations, psychological risk reports about judges' demeanor, and even audio logs labeled Observation, Roberts. Her stomach tightened. "They were watching me?" Cole's jaw clenched. "You, Judge Howard, and 3 others. It's been going on for over a year." Maya's hand froze over one page, a printed still from a courthouse security feed. It showed her leaving chambers months ago. Underneath, someone had typed, "Too confident. Watch interactions with law enforcement." She closed the file slowly. "So the coffee wasn't random." Cole met her eyes. "No, ma'am. You were targeted. That accident was meant to provoke you. Get a reaction they could record, twist, and use to question your temperament on the bench." For a moment, silence filled the room. Then Maya stood. "They wanted a reaction," she said quietly. "They're going to get one, but through the law." She picked up the file and walked toward the courtroom, her heels striking the floor like punctuation marks in a speech she was about to deliver. The hearing room was packed. Reporters lined the back wall. Officers Daniels and Briggs sat at the defense table, looking drained, pale, and nervous. But beside them sat a new face, Deputy Chief Langston, head of Internal Affairs. Judge Roberts took her seat. She placed the court-line file on the bench with deliberate care. "This hearing," she began, "was originally convened to address an act of misconduct against this court." The room was still. However, new evidence suggests that this act was not isolated, but part of a coordinated effort to monitor and undermine judicial officers based on race and gender. Whispers rippled through the crowd. Cameras clicked like thunder. Deputy Chief Langston cleared his throat. "Your Honor, with all due respect, this is an internal matter." Maya looked directly at him. "No, Chief. When a system designed to protect the law begins to spy on the people upholding it, that's not internal. That's corruption." She opened the file and held up the memo for all to see. "Operation Courtline, authorized without federal consent, executed under your supervision." Langston's face tightened. "Those were research initiatives for officer safety." "By labeling judges as high risk because of their race?" she interrupted. Her voice was calm, but the weight of each word silenced the room. She flipped to another page, a log entry dated 2 days before the coffee incident. "Target, Judge Maya Roberts. Objective, stress response observation." Gasps echoed across the chamber. Daniels looked up suddenly, eyes wide. "Wait, we didn't know—" "Exactly," Maya said. "You were pawns in a system that preys on ignorance and prejudice. But accountability doesn't stop at orders. It starts with choice." Outside, news networks cut into live coverage. Breaking news. Judge exposes covert police operation targeting black officials. Inside, the courtroom transformed from a hearing into a reckoning. Judge Roberts continued reading aloud, exposing emails, surveillance logs, and directives signed by multiple high-ranking officials. Each revelation felt like a nail sealing a coffin of systemic deceit. Finally, she set the last page down. "Deputy Chief Langston," she said, "by the authority vested in this court, I am referring this entire operation to the U.S. Department of Justice for criminal investigation, including obstruction, unlawful surveillance, and civil rights violations." Langston rose from his seat, voice trembling with anger. "You're destroying years of internal work." "No," she said, standing. "I'm restoring years of stolen dignity." The bailiff stepped forward, placing a sealed envelope before the court. "Ma'am," he said, "we've received confirmation. The Department of Justice has opened a federal case file." Maya nodded once. "Then justice has officially begun." Langston was escorted out as cameras flashed. The officers who once mocked her now sat silently, realizing the storm they had helped unleash. When the gavel finally struck, the courtroom erupted in noise, journalists shouting, attorneys whispering, cameras rolling. But Maya didn't linger for the attention. She walked out through the same courthouse doors where her humiliation had once taken place. Outside, the air was crisp. The same steps, the same city, but the woman standing there now was not the same. Cole joined her. "You really did it, Judge." She smiled faintly. "No, Detective, the truth did." He hesitated. "What will you do now?" She looked toward the horizon where the courthouse flag waved gently in the wind. "Go home, take this coat off, and let justice keep doing its work." Later that evening, news reports confirmed the suspension of multiple police supervisors. Federal investigators moved in. Protests erupted, not in anger but in solidarity. Accountability for all trended online. And in one quiet living room, Judge Maya Roberts finally set her stained coat aside. The mark had faded after cleaning, but a faint trace remained, a reminder of where the fight had started. She sat on the couch, exhaled deeply, and whispered, "They poured coffee to burn me, but all it did was wake me up." Life lesson. Sometimes humiliation is the universe's invitation to reveal hidden truth. When they try to stain your dignity, remember, Strength in silence speaks louder than rage. Real power doesn't shout, it transforms. Quick question for you. If you were in Judge Maya's place that morning, would you have stayed silent or reacted on the spot? Drop your answer in the comments below. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more powerful stories like this, where justice always finds its voice.